There's a moment when someone is lying in bed, phone finally on the nightstand, room dark except for the faint glow from the street outside. The day has been long. Their jaw still feels tight from holding back a comment in a meeting. Their chest feels heavy from an argument that never really got resolved. The mind is buzzing with half-finished thoughts. What they should have said, what they need to do tomorrow, what they are afraid will fall apart if they stop pushing for even one day. The body is exhausted, eyes burning, shoulders aching, and yet as they close their eyes, a strange thing happens. The edges of those sharp thoughts start to blur. Images appear that make no logical sense. A childhood home, a school hallway, a person they haven't seen in years. Feelings rise that they didn't have time for during the day. Sadness, fear, longing, even relief. On the outside, it just looks like someone's sleeping. On the inside, something is shifting. The mind is doing its quiet work. The body is trying to repair. Sleep steps in like a quiet night shift, starting to process what the daytime self tried to outrun. It happens quietly, almost invisibly. During the day, it just looks like being tired, drinking more coffee, saying, "I'm fine, just a bit exhausted." But under the surface, there is a pattern. Someone uses sleep as the only place where their nervous system can finally let go, so their body crashes hard every night. Another person avoids sleep, staying up late with shows, scrolling, and background noise, because they know that when things get quiet, all the emotions they've been avoiding start to knock. In relationships, this shows up as, "I just need to sleep," after arguments, not because they don't care, but because their system is overwhelmed and needs a reset. At work, it looks like zoning out in afternoon meetings, then lying awake at 2 a.m., replaying conversations and worrying about tomorrow. In family life, it appears as irritability, snapping over small things, because underslept bodies have less room for patience. Alone late at night, it looks like someone lying in the dark thinking, "What is wrong with me? Why can't I just rest?" Sleep becomes both the thing they crave and the thing they sabotage. Outside, they might seem lazy or not a morning person. Inside, their body is just begging for one thing: real repair. For many people, this pattern around sleep starts very early. A girl grows up in a house where evenings are tense. Maybe there's arguing after dinner. Maybe a parent drinks. Maybe everyone walks on eggshells waiting for someone's mood to turn. She learns that nighttime is not safe. Sleep becomes light, broken, full of listening for footsteps, doors, voices. So she starts staying awake as long as possible, reading, watching TV, keeping one ear open. Her body never really learns what it feels like to fully relax. As an adult, she may still struggle to fall asleep without background noise, without a show playing, without scrolling until her eyes close from exhaustion. A boy grows up in a family that praises productivity and toughness. He gets told, "You can sleep when you're dead. Don't be lazy. Winners wake up at 5 a.m." He learns that needing rest is a weakness, so he begins to cut his sleep to prove his worth. Late nights studying, early mornings training, pushing through tiredness with caffeine and pressure. As an adult, he might still feel guilty when he sleeps in, even if his body desperately needs it. Culture reinforces this. Many societies praise people who hustle, who work late, answer messages at all hours, and treat sleep like an optional add-on. Phrases like "no days off" and "rise and grind" become badges of honor. People brag about how little they slept, as if being exhausted means being important. Sleep gets framed as a luxury instead of a basic need. Over time, people internalize this message. Rest is something you earn, not something you deserve as a human being. Underneath all of this is a psychological concept, often called nervous system regulation. In simpler words, it's how your body shifts between alertness and calm, between stress and recovery, When childhood, family rules, or culture teach you that you must always be on, your system has trouble switching into repair mode. Sleep is one of the main ways your body resets, emotionally, mentally, physically. When that reset is interrupted, rushed, or shamed, you end up living in a kind of emotional jet lag. You're awake, but never fully restored. Sleep is not just the absence of being awake. It's an active process where your brain sorts through your day, your emotions, and your memories. Your body repairs tissues, balances hormones, and resets systems that have been working hard all day. When you don't sleep enough, or when your sleep is shallow and fragmented, your emotional life changes. At work, someone with chronic poor sleep is more likely to react strongly in conflict. A comment from a colleague that would usually feel neutral suddenly feels like a personal attack. They might send an email they regret or shut down in a meeting because their emotional buffer is thinner. The brain, already tired, interprets things as more threatening because it doesn't have the usual resources to pause and reflect. In romantic relationships, small disagreements escalate faster. A partner forgets to text, and instead of curiosity or a calm check-in, there's a wave of panic or anger. You don't care about me. You never think about how I feel. Part of that intensity is unprocessed stress from the day, still sitting in the system because sleep hasn't been healing enough. In family dynamics, tired parents snap at children for normal behaviors, spills, noise, mess, because their own internal battery is empty. Someone might think, why am I so harsh? I don't want to be like this. Yet night after night, they scroll late, get light sleep, wake up feeling heavy, and repeat. In friendships, people cancel plans more often, not because they don't love their friends, but because they feel drained by even simple social interactions. They say, I'm just tired, and it's true. But under that tiredness is something deeper, a system that never gets full repair. So every interaction feels like a demand. Inside, the self-talk gets harsher. A person lies in bed thinking, what's wrong with me? Other adults manage life. Why am I always exhausted? They blame their character instead of seeing that their nervous system is running on fumes. Obvious signs show up: falling asleep in front of the TV, needing multiple coffees just to feel normal, getting sick more often, having frequent headaches or tight shoulders. The subtle signs are quieter but just as important. Feeling more anxious without a clear reason, feeling numb when something good happens, feeling guilt for resting, feeling like a stranger in your own life. There's often a moment of confusion. Why do I keep doing this? Staying up late when I know I'll hate myself in the morning? Or, why does a small comment at work bother me so much? A big part of that answer is that without real sleep, the emotional load never gets processed. It just piles up. The cost of staying stuck in this pattern is high. You move through days like you're underwater. You react instead of choosing. You feel disconnected from yourself, from your intuition, from any sense of joy. You keep promising yourself that you'll fix your sleep later, but later never comes, because being tired has become your normal. Now here's the important reframe. Feeling tired, wired, or emotionally cracked open at night is not proof that you're broken. It's information. Your body is not your enemy. It's trying to tell you that it needs repair. Think of exhaustion as the body's way of saying, you've been carrying too much for too long. Think of that heavy, shut-down feeling when your head hits the pillow as a signal that your system is overloaded. Numbness at night, staring at a screen, feeling nothing, is often a sign that your internal capacities are maxed out. It's not laziness, it's self-protection. Instead of seeing these states as something you need to get rid of, you can start seeing them as messages. Overthinking at night might be your mind trying to finish emotional tasks it didn't have space for during the day. Midday crashes might be your body protesting a schedule that ignores its basic needs. This doesn't mean romanticizing sleep problems or ignoring medical issues. It means shifting from "what's wrong with me" to "what is my body trying to say?" The healing potential in sleep is huge, but only if you work with it instead of fighting it. Integration instead of elimination looks like this. Instead of trying to force yourself into some perfect sleep routine you found online, you start with where you actually are. You notice your habits, your triggers, your fears around rest. You listen to the part of you that feels guilty for sleeping and ask where that guilt came from. You accept that everyone has some version of the struggle. No one has perfect sleep every night. No one gets this completely right, and that's okay. The goal isn't to become a sleep robot who always goes to bed at exactly the right time and wakes up like a wellness ad. The goal is to build a relationship with sleep where it becomes your ally in healing instead of just a problem to be managed. Let's talk about concrete practices to help you work with sleep as a healing mechanism in real life. First, notice your nighttime triggers. This practice helps you see the emotional and situational patterns that disturb your rest. When you know your triggers, you stop blaming your personality and start adjusting your environment and expectations. For 1 week, pay attention to what happens in the 2 hours before bed. Who did you talk to? What did you watch or read? What were you thinking about? Each morning, jot down a few notes: how long it took to fall asleep, how many times you woke up, how you felt emotionally when you lay down. You're not judging, you're observing. For example, someone notices that on nights when they scroll through stressful news, they fall asleep with their jaw clenched and wake up more often. On nights when they talk to a supportive friend or read something light, their body feels softer and sleep comes easier. The difficult part of this practice is seeing patterns that might ask you to change habits you find comforting, like late-night scrolling. To move through that, remind yourself, this isn't about restricting pleasure. It's about giving your body a fair chance to repair. Second, write what your body is holding. This is a simple journaling practice that lets your nervous system offload some of the emotional weight before sleep. It helps because unexpressed thoughts look for a place to go at night. Writing gives them that place. Each evening, take 5 minutes to finish these sentences on paper. Today, my body feels, I'm still holding on to, I feel this because. Don't worry about nice handwriting or full sentences. Just let whatever is inside come out. A person might write, today my body feels tight in my shoulders. I'm still holding on to that comment from my boss. I feel this because I'm afraid I'm not doing enough. After writing, pause, take a slow breath, and imagine leaving those words on the page for the night. You're not solving them at 11 p.m. You're just acknowledging them. The hard part is the resistance. This is silly, it won't help. Often that resistance is the same voice that says, just push through, don't feel. Gently treat the writing as an experiment, not a test. Third, one small boundary before bed. Sleep is easier when your system trusts that it's allowed to turn off. Setting a small boundary before bed tells your body, you are not on call for the world right now. It can be as simple as a rule: no work messages after 9 p.m. or no emotionally heavy conversations in the last hour before sleep. For example, someone who usually answers emails until midnight decides to close their laptop at 9:30 p.m. The first few nights feel uncomfortable. They think, what if I miss something important? What if I look lazy? Their anxiety spikes. But after a week, they notice that their mind is a bit quieter when they lie down. The world did not fall apart. The difficulty here is the fear of disappointing others or losing control. To move through it, you might tell yourself, this boundary is not about rejecting people. It's about giving myself the repair I need so I can show up tomorrow. Fourth, 10 minutes of honest solitude. This practice is about sitting with yourself without distractions so your body can show you what's really going on. Sleep often becomes the only time we're alone with our thoughts. Bringing a bit of that inward attention into waking life can reduce the emotional pressure at night. Choose a time during the day, maybe lunch break, maybe after work, where you sit quietly for 10 minutes. No phone, no TV, no talking, just you, breathing, noticing. You might place a hand on your chest or stomach to feel the breath. Notice sensations, tightness, restlessness, calm, heaviness. Name them in your mind. There is tension, there is sadness, there is numbness. A man who tries this notices that every time he stops, tears come to his eyes for no obvious reason. Instead of pushing them away, he lets them be there. Later, he realizes that having this small, safe time during the day makes his nights less overwhelming. The difficult part is the urge to escape the discomfort quickly. To move through it, remember you're not analyzing or fixing anything. You're just witnessing. Fifth, small, honest check-ins with others. Because sleep is deeply affected by unresolved conflict and swallowed emotions, practicing a bit more honesty in relationships can lighten the load your mind carries into the night. This doesn't mean dramatic confrontations. It means going one layer deeper than "I'm fine." Next time a partner, friend, or family member asks how you are, experiment with adding one honest sentence. Instead of "I'm fine," you might say, "I'm fine, but I've been more tired and tense than usual." Or, "Today was rough. I'm carrying some stress from work." You don't have to explain everything. Just naming your state out loud can reduce the pressure inside. A woman tells her partner, "I know I seem irritable at night. I'm not mad at you. I'm just overwhelmed and not resting well." That small honesty changes how they interact in the evening. The hard part is the fear that if you open the door to honesty, you'll have to explain everything or be seen as weak. To move through that, remind yourself, you're allowed to share a small piece without giving a full speech. The goal is to feel a little less alone with your experience. Sixth, a weekly no for your nervous system. When sleep is always poor, it's often because your life is overstuffed. Your schedule leaves no room for your body to breathe. Practicing a weekly no creates a bit of space for restoration, which makes it easier to sleep. Once a week, choose one thing you would normally say yes to: an extra meeting, a social event you don't really want, a favor you don't have energy for, and say no. Not with a long excuse, just a simple, "I can't this." Time. Use that saved time for something that truly restores you. A slow walk, a quiet bath, reading, or simply going to bed 30 minutes earlier. A man who is used to saying yes to every request from family decides to say no to helping with a minor task one evening. He feels guilty at first, but when he uses that hour to unwind and go to bed earlier, he wakes up feeling slightly more clear. Over time, those small no's add up to a less overloaded nervous system. The difficulty here is guilt and fear of being seen as selfish. To move through it, you can remind yourself a rested version of you is kinder, more patient, and more present. This no is an investment in better presence, not an act of rejection. Seventh, talk to the younger, you who didn't feel safe sleeping. This is imagination work with the part of you that learned early on that nights were not safe or that rest was not allowed. Bringing compassion to that younger part can soften some of the fear and tension you carry into sleep now. Before bed, close your eyes and imagine yourself as a child in a room where you used to sleep. Notice the details, the bed, the light, the sounds. See that younger version of you and imagine sitting beside them as the adult you are now. In your mind, say things like, "You're not alone anymore. You're allowed to rest. You don't have to listen for danger all night. I'm here with you." You might imagine tucking them in, closing a door, or turning off a sound that used to keep them alert. This isn't about rewriting history. It's about giving your nervous system a new experience in the present. Someone who grew up with loud fights at night imagines themselves gently telling their younger self, "You don't have to fix anyone. Your job is to sleep." Over time, this can help the adult body feel a bit safer when the lights go out. The hard part is feeling silly or emotional while doing this. To move through it, remember that your nervous system responds more to felt experiences than to logic. If it feels comforting, it's working on some level. As you practice these things, not all at once, but gradually, life doesn't become perfect, but it becomes more manageable, more honest, more grounded. You begin to notice that when you treat sleep as a healing mechanism instead of a nuisance, your days change. There's a bit more ease when someone says something thoughtless at work. You have a tiny bit more space before reacting. In relationships, you catch yourself before snapping because your system has a little more resilience. You might still get irritated, but you also have moments of real warmth and presence that were harder to access when you were always exhausted. Some relationships shift. People who rely on you always being available might struggle when you start protecting your rest. Some connections may fade as you become less willing to sacrifice your well-being. At the same time, new patterns appear. People who respect your boundaries, conversations that feel more mutual, evenings that aren't just about collapsing. Internally, the fear of being found out as lazy or weak begins to loosen. You realize that needing rest doesn't mean you're failing at adulthood. It means you're human. Your self-talk softens from, "What's wrong with me?" to, "Of course I'm tired. Look at what I've been carrying." You still have nights of bad sleep, of course. Stressful seasons, illness, worries. They all show up, but you no longer see every sleepless night as a personal failure. You understand your patterns better. You have tools. Sleep becomes part of your healing path, not just an accident or a fight. Return for a moment to that opening scene. You, lying in bed after a long day, body heavy, mind buzzing. Before, that moment might have felt like proof that you're broken or weak. Now, after everything you've explored, it can mean something different. It can be a checkpoint, a place where you ask, what is my body holding from today? What boundary did I cross? What small act of care can I offer myself right now? Sleep is no longer just the end of the day. It becomes a bridge between the person you were today and the person you're becoming. It's a place where your system can slowly integrate emotions, repair damage, and reset patterns. Not perfectly, not instantly, but gradually, night after night. Sleep as a healing mechanism is not about chasing perfect routines or judging yourself for every restless night. It's about honoring the simple truth that your system needs cycles of effort and rest, activation and recovery. When you bring awareness, kindness, and small practical changes into how you approach sleep, you're not just trying to fix insomnia. You're learning to live less on autopilot and more in partnership with your own body. You're letting rest be part of your growth instead of an obstacle to it. Thank you for being here and staying with us all the way to the end. If this felt familiar or helpful, consider subscribing for more videos on psychology, self-awareness, and gentle inner work. And if you feel comfortable, share in the comments which part of your own sleep pattern feels most connected to your emotional life right now. Your story might resonate with someone who needs to feel less alone.